Hello everyone and welcome to today's Wildcard Wednesday video, and today we are doing a mystery unboxing. Well, it's mystery to me, mystery to you. It's not a mystery to me, and it's also not a mystery to one other person, and that person is Adrian Preston. I want to give a big shout out to him. Thank you for sending me what is in this box. It is absolutely fantastic of him to do so, and you will see why right now, because I'm going to get on to the opening and unboxing. Obviously, younger viewers, be very careful when unboxing things. Always get your parents to help you if needs be. And we have, you've packed it well, Adrian. You've really packed it well. That's fantastic. So, we have in here, wow, really well packed. I'm very pleased about that. I'm glad it's well packed. So, we have in here lots of tissue paper, it looks like, but it is not just tissue paper. Oops, tear the box slightly, because in here is a plethora of spare figures. Once again, thank you, Adrian. This is going to help me so much in future customs and things like that. So we're going to go through and have a look at what we've got in this box. So we have, first of all, we have a Satan Pit cage. I actually found one of these recently. I didn't realise I had another one spare, but it's always good to have another one spare. Obviously, some of you will know that my audio series Master TARDIS is made from one of these, but I might be updating that soon. So it's good to have another two of these now spare to have to do stuff with. We have a Genesis Ark, which is great because I actually was going to get one of these. I thought I had one spare somewhere, but I have absolutely no idea where it is. And those of you who know, who have seen my audio series web comic on my Patreon, there is a video under my Patreon playlist which has the first pages for free, which you can see, but you will know that I am using this as a model for what I'm calling the Paradigm Arc. And eventually I did think I was going to get this and add all lights and everything that I wanted in it. So I was looking at getting one of these, so I'm very pleased to have one of these. We have a Face of Bo. Now, this is actually a very interesting figure for me to have, because I have never actually had one of these in my collection before. I had seen them, and I know they existed, but I had never actually seen them myself. I'm going to try and get this on camera, because as I said, I've never had one of these myself before, but he does have a switch on top here. I'll do a mini review while I'm here, which you can see does move his mouth. Yeah, I'm interested. I don't know what I'm going to do with him, but I will, for now, just keep him on my shelves. It's nice to have that in my collection. So, let's take out all of the tissue paper, and we have a huge bag of spare figures. So let's, where did I put? There it is. So let's go through this and see what we've got, because there are certainly going to be some very good pieces that I can make from this. Let's just get everything out of the way. No parts, I will obviously check. I know some are going to go, don't throw the packaging away, there could be loose parts, don't worry. I will check all the packaging. So, let's go through. So we have quite a few interesting little figures here. So we have a figure that is, in fact, actually, I might readjust the camera to do this bit. Bear with me 1 second. Right, so here we are with what we have in the bag of figures. Now, just before I go over all of these, I'm sure that some people are going to turn around and say, oh, you could make this, you could make that with, you know, some figures in here. I can predict a couple that I'm sure are probably going to crop up. The chances are that any ideas that people... I have an extremely long list of custom ideas. some of which people might suggest, and I've already thought of them. Others that might be figures that I'm not interested in making. So basically all I want to say now is I do appreciate people's ideas for custom figures, and I always appreciate people, you know, giving me ideas of things that I could do. But at I was going to say at present time, that's the wrong words I was going to say. Basically, if you suggest an idea and I turn around and say it's not something I want to make, please don't take it personally. It might be because I'm just not interested in making it, or I might already have it on the list. But I just want to say that before I go through all these figures. As I said, I'm sure that some probably will crop up. But anyway, let's get on to what we've got. So let's start off with some of the bigger figures. So we have a werewolf figure. I've never had any of these bigger figures actually, so they're actually quite interesting to look at. Again, not really sure what I'd do with this, but I could probably think of something. I might be able to, I don't know, use it as a monster in a future audio series story or something. We have a Slitheen. Again, I've never had a Slitheen custom figure, and to be honest, I've never really been that interested in making any Slitheen customs, but I know that a lot of people have said over the years, or have asked me over the years, to make a Blathereen figure from the Sarah Jane Adventures. And again, you know, I didn't want to have to spend money on a Slitheen figure because I didn't want one. I wasn't really interested in making a custom, and I probably wouldn't have otherwise bought a Slitheen figure. But now that I've got one, I may well make a Blathereen in future. There might be some duplicates in here. We'll have to look and see. We have got a couple here. So we've got two Jadoon figures. Again, not really sure what I would do with these yet. I did experiment using some Jadoon figures originally to come up with some new Rootons for my audio series, but they never really came to anything. But I wouldn't mind introducing the Jadoon as part of my audio series in future, so I may keep these aside for that reason. We have several Scarecrows in here. I believe these are all the same ones. I know there are some rare variants of the Scarecrow. In fact, I know there's one particular rare variant which I'm always on the lookout for. And I know there are other Scarecrow variants which, again, people have said, you know, how about making this? How about making that variant that, you know, we've never seen? I don't really have a lot of use for these, but these could come in useful if I ever wanted to make some sort of raggedy figure or something like that. You know, I'm sure I'll find a use for them in future. It's just always worth having them as spares. And again, even then, even if I don't use the main parts of these figures, the bodies and things like that are often useful for spares. So it's nice to have what I would say sort of fodder and things like that. Couple of Ood. Again, Ood are Ood. There's not really a lot to say about them. Again, they make nice fodder for just random pieces of bodies. Chip from Series 2. Again, not a huge amount can be done with this guy, but again, it's nice to have the fodder there as parts I need. So we have several Fourth Doctors. Let's grab these together. So we've got standard Fourth Doctor. Now, I actually just bought one of these because I needed one. If I'd known it was going to be in this set, I wouldn't have bought it. But never mind. It's good to have extra spares in case one goes wrong. It's nice to have other ones to back up with. And obviously, we've got the serious head that goes with it. We have this version, which again, I'm not exactly sure off the top of my head which versions of the Fourth Doctor are which. I know that's the Seeds of Doom one, and that's the robot version. I believe this could be Planet of Evil, Face of Evil. But again, you know, they're all just nice Fourth Doctor variants that are nice to have. Again, I recently bought one of these. In fact, no, I think I bought one of these. So again, I now have duplicates, but that is no bad thing. It's nice to have the duplicates, and it's nice to have two of these waistcoats actually, because there are a couple of times where I've wanted to use these waistcoats and I have to buy the entire figures just to use them. So it's nice to have 2 of them spare now, and again, nice 4th Doctor for fodder. We have a Sycorax figure. Not really a lot to say about the Sycorax figure, but I have found recently that the cloaks on these are very good. I've got a few customs planned that use the cloaks, so it's nice to have another one with a cloak spare, because I actually wanted to get another cloak, so I will be using that on a future custom. We have Space Pig. I have absolutely no idea what I would do with the Space Pig, but you never know. It could come in useful. I actually have to say, I was looking at. I like to vary my custom figures, because I often do. I always do Doctor Who figures, and I'm known for doing Doctor Who figures. But there are sort of other franchise and things that I do like, and I have to say, I was looking at the Jadoon figure, and it wouldn't be that far to modify this into a Krogan from the Mass Effect series, and again, I'm looking at the Space Pig. Wouldn't be hard to modify this into a Volus, so you never know, you might see some Mass Effect customs from me in future. It's certainly be something very interesting, and it'll be certainly something useful to do with the Space Pig, so we'll have a look on those. Cyberman, this is... Now, I could be wrong, but I think this is the version that came with the Argos set, because it had the sword in it. I don't believe the other set did. His foot has fallen off. I think actually I saw it in all of the. Tissue paper, but I've got spare feet anyway. Again, Cybermen, they're just good to have as fodder pieces. So now we get on to the human figures. We have a Martha Jones figure, 2 Martha Jones figures. Again, nice to have as spare pieces. I know I've seen some people sort of use the Martha figure and repaint her to do other various things. We have, I thought these were 9th Doctors, but they're not. They are Regeneration 10th Doctor figures. That's very interesting. I've never had either of these in my collection. Very nice to have in my collection, and it's a nice, interesting figure to have. I do like a nice regeneration figure. I'm happy to have this, because I did want a spare 9th Doctor figure, so at least I've got 2 of these that I can take apart and use for pieces. So what else do we have in the 10th Doctor range? So we've got spacesuit. So 10th Doctor wise, we have 1 glasses and blue suit. Always useful to have, especially as he's got the glasses, because the glasses are always nice to have. It's always nice to have the glasses heads. A standard 10th Doctor with his brown suit. End of time 10th Doctor. He is missing a bit of his hair, but I can always sculpt that back on. But again, that's a nice figure to have. It's a nice variant. I like the sort of more battered design that his outfit has. That's a nice little variant to have. And then we have a 10th Doctor with, I believe this is the 13 Doctors, not 13 Doctors, the 11 Doctors version with the end of time clean head sculpt with the glasses. Again, nice to have the glasses and nice to have a clean version of that head sculpt. It's always useful to have. And lastly, we have the 10th Doctor in his spacesuit. He appears to have lost his little bit of pipe, but again, I have spare parts and spare helmets and things like that. And this actually might be quite a nice one to display alongside my little 3 3/4 inch prototype version. So yeah, that's nice to have. Then we have 11th Doctors. We have the Raggedy 11th Doctor. Again, that is a nice variant to have, because the arms are useful on this, and I might well find a use for that in future. And then we have the 2 original versions of the 11th Doctor releases, one with the blue and one with the red. Again, useful to have, because it's nice to have some spare bow ties and bits useful for that. Then we have the Empty Child figure. I did contemplate getting one of these recently for a future figure, and I know some people have talked about saying that I could use this to put in my Remembrance of the Daleks battle computer, but obviously his legs don't bend. But I'm guessing the legs do come off They are in pegs, I won't force them out now, I don't want to break it, but it could be modified. But again, it's always nice to have a child body for use on other things, so that's a nice one to have. Next, we have the second Doctor. I believe this is, again, possibly the 12 Doctors box set version. Now, I haven't really got any ideas at the moment for a second Doctor figure. I know some people have said that I could do him as Salamander, or I could do him as, say, a random costume variant like Fury from the Deep or the Two Doctors or something. Originally, I did think about doing the two Doctors, but obviously we then got the actual release version, and so I wasn't going to do it in the end. But I may have another use for this figure, which I don't want to go into just now, but yeah, I may have a use for this in future, so I will keep that one spare. I then have a First Doctor figure, and this is definitely from the 12 Doctors box set variant. Again, very nice figure to have. The head sculpt on this is actually very nice. It's a lot more not updated. On my my head sculpt on the one I've got upstairs on my lineup, his eyes are a little bit more red, and this version is actually cleaner, so I may well swap this head sculpt over and reuse that. But again, that's a nice figure to always have spare. Fifth Doctor, not really much to say about him. It is just a Fifth Doctor figure. And lastly, we have an Anthony Ailey, I wish. We have a Roger Delgado Master figure. Definitely this one, because I have a figure in mind for this that I'm going to use it for. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. So I will bring in everything from the Mega unboxing. So yeah, it's been a great little unboxing to get all of this. Once again, a huge shout out and thank you to Adrian Preston for sending me all these things. It's an absolutely a huge boost, and represents a very substantial saving for me in terms of customs and spare parts. So it really does mean a lot to me that he was able to send me all these things, because I've got some things that I really needed. I've got some bits that I don't need but are always going to be good in future. And just going through this, I've got some, looking at these now, already I've got ideas formulating in my head for new customs that I hadn't thought of before, but that are coming to mind now. So yeah, it really does mean a lot that he's been able to get all of these to me, and he's been willing to give them up as spares. So seriously, Adrian, thank you so much. But that brings to a close the end of my unboxing video. As always, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Like, favorite, subscribe, share, it really helps me out a lot. And be sure to check out the description below for a link to my Patreon. There is an exclusive webcomic and rewards for people who support it, and the funding generated by my Patreon helps me fund future videos. I salute you all, and I will see you with another video very soon.